Hey guys, it's Elyssa from ElyssaNalani.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have something that I'm so incredibly excited to share with you. It's a project that I've been working on for the past several weeks, and I finally get to open it up and share it with you here on the channel. So those of you who have been watching my videos for a while, who have been subscribed, thank you by the way. You know that I like talking about planning. I like showing my planner and how I keep my life organized. You may also know that I am a great lover of books. I am an avid reader, a bookworm, a book nerd, whatever you want to call it. I am one of those. And that is also another community that I like interacting with and observing online, especially on Instagram and through podcasts and things like that. I love books. And if you know me in real life, you know this. So I thought it would be interesting to marry the two. So the planning life, the planner girl in me, the reading life, the book nerd in me, and kind of come up with something that would help me keep better track of my reading life, that would help me stay organized in my reading life, that would help me what's the word I'm looking for? Stick to my plans and goals in my reading life, and also just kind of have a record, another place to have record of my reading life in a year. A lot of us who are in the book community love Goodreads, and we use Goodreads. It's a great site, a great app to help facilitate some of that tracking, but I love paper. Right? As a planner girl, I love the analog, and so I wanted to have something that would better facilitate tracking all the things, staying on top of all the things, as well as being able to see all the things that pertain to my reading life in a year. So what I came up with is what I'm calling the Reading Life Planner. Okay, and that's what that looks like, the Reading Life Planner. And it is actually, those of you who may have followed me on my last blog might have seen the Reader's Notebook, which is what I came up with 3 years ago. And what happened was I didn't end up using it. I didn't like it. I didn't engage with it. It wasn't what I thought I wanted it to be. And so I went back to the drawing board and have now made a new and improved edition, and I'm so excited to use it this next year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around and show you, just give you a walkthrough of the planner, how I have put it together, what you can do with it, and just share what I've come up with. If you are interested, all the links are below in the comments, and there will be a pinned all the links will be below in the description, and there will be a pinned comment as well, so you don't miss anything. This will be available on my website for you to print and build your own reading life planner. So if you are a planner girl person, if you're a planner person and a book nerd, this might be something that's just for you. So I'm going to flip the camera around and give you a walkthrough. Okay, you guys, so this is the part that I have been waiting for. I can't wait to open this up and show you. Okay, now before I do that and show you all the pages, I'm going to talk a little bit about binding. One thing I have found, and one thing I've said in the past and other planning videos, is that I don't do rings well. But it's not the rings that I don't do well, it's the build and the bulk that is often attached to it. So this is why I do well on my file effects now, because there's not this bulky build associated with that set of rings. I don't do 3-ring binders well at all when it comes to planning. I can use them for other things, but not planning. So when it came time to figure out how I wanted to bind this planner, 3-ring binder was out. It was just not an option for me. I also did not want to get it spiral bound because I wanted to be able to add pages as the year went on, and you can't do that when you've spiral bound it. So I decided to go the disc bound route. Now, many of you are probably familiar with the fact that you can do discs in a few different ways. There's the Happy Planner rings that are available. There's the arc bound system, the Levenger system, and then this, which is the Martha Stewart customizable notebook system. All of them are great options. The reason why I chose Martha Stewart was because I really liked the cover. I wanted something a bit more sturdier than just using, a set of Happy Planner covers that, was from another planner that I wasn't using anymore, which again is totally a fine option. I just didn't want that to be what I used. I also liked the fact that these discs are bigger than what comes in your ARC bound notebook. So when you buy an ARC notebook, the rings are smaller and you have to upgrade to bigger rings. You have to buy them separately. And I wasn't really enthused about that. So this one comes with these nice big rings when you buy the notebook itself. It also comes with notebook paper inside, which I just took out, obviously, to put my planner pages in, but it does have nice lined paper. And I like that these rings are apparently metal. The paper and the cover, they all glide over the metal rings quite well. And the construct of the cover is very nice and clean. It's, I guess, plastic. This part is plastic in the front and back, as you can see. And then it's got this kind of plasticky cloth cover here that seems to be quite durable. And then it has, I say seems to be because I haven't had this for very long, so we'll see how it wears. But then it has this elastic band, which holds it together, which I also like. It has a pen loop. I don't remember if ARC does. I could be wrong, it probably does, but I don't remember for sure. And then it has this nice pocket, which ARC does, and it may have just been the particular notebook that I was holding, like maybe if I picked up another one on the shelf, it would have been better, but I just felt like the pocket in Martha Stewart was nicer than the one in the ARC. However, I will say that ARC has more covers to choose from. They have a really nice kind of quilted looking cover that was really nice, that I actually almost bought. So there are more options when it comes to design, but I really liked this color, and so I went with it. And the rings, that was big for me because I knew I wanted bigger rings than what ARC had in your initial notebook purchase, if that makes sense. What I also like is that it comes with this clear pocket. I don't think ARC came with an extra accessory like this. So it's a clear pocket, one-sided. There's nothing on this side, but you could even use this as a dashboard. So that's kind of nice. So that's why I chose Martha Stewart. I am not familiar with Levenger. I've never used a Levenger. I've never held one, but so I couldn't comment much on that. However, I will also say that for Big Happy Planner, which is your 8.5 by 11, your ARC, Levenger, and Martha Stewart, all your holes and your spacing are pretty much all the same. I think there might be just a little bit, I think this might be a little bigger than the holes in the paper that this comes with, but I mean, the difference was pretty much minute. I use a Levenger punch. I got this on Amazon. If I can find it, I'll have it linked below. So, and I bought the Levenger punch for my Happy Planner. Found out that the Levenger also works for this, Martha Stewart, and I looked at the holes, I compared the holes in my Levenger punched paper when I went to Staples and looked at the ARC notebook, and it's all the same size. So you can cross over supplies. You should be able to cross over supplies, with whatever you've got, and be okay with that. The other reason why I like disc, and this will be my last comment before I get into this, the other reason why I like the disc is because unlike a 3-ring binder, you can fold this over just like you would like a spiral notebook, and fold your pages over, write, flip it over, so on and so forth. So it acts more like a notebook because it is a notebook system. And I like that better than your binder, which is a lot bulkier. It has a thicker spine, and then, gets smaller towards the end. It's just too bulky for me. I don't like it. But if it floats your boat and you're fine with it, 3-ring binders are definitely the cheaper route to go, and they're more accessible. And you do have a lot of options with covers, and, if you have like the clear pocket in the front, customizing your cover and all of that, it's definitely easier. I'm just not here for all that bulk. So that's my personal opinion. Okay, so I'm going to remove this. that we can get into the pages. This is the cover page. It is a dated planner, so it's got 2019 on there. And I really wanted this to be about organizing your bookish life and nourishing your bookish heart. I wanted this to be something that you could fill up and use as a resource for your reading life, and then you'll have all these pages at the end of the year to look back on your reading life for the year, and then, you know, have one for the next year and the next year and the next year. So I want it to be a really nice resource that you make, that you build for how you want to use it. I've got a quote page, a place to write your name. I did print on 32-pound paper, which is, I mean, the best thing ever this is such a tongue twister. When printing planner printable inserts, 32-pound paper is, it's the way to go, you guys. It's the way. You will never go back once you print on 32-pound paper. I accidentally bought glossy 32-pound, so this has a little bit of a sheen to it. I had no problem when printing on the gloss. It didn't smear or anything. I don't know how it'll be with pen. Obviously, depending on the kind of pen, I will probably run into some smearing options, but for smearing problems, but we'll see. Anyway, so if you can find 32 gloss, you might like that too. But definitely go with 32-pound paper. It's just the best. Okay. This is what I call the reader profile. This is all information that would pertain to you as a reader. Your Goodreads name, if you have a Goodreads, and if you don't, you need one. Your blog or social media handles, your public library, your local library, your favorite book apps, your favorite book podcasts, your preferred method of reading. Do you like paperback, hardcover, ebooks, audiobooks, or do you check all four? Do you have a preferred kind of book? So do you like fiction or nonfiction better? Your favorite booksellers, your favorite book blogs, your favorite subjects to read about, your favorite genres, your favorite authors, your top 10 current favorite books, because we know this changes in our different seasons of life, your favorite series, and then your favorite book characters. All of that in your reading profile. And then if you want to, you can take note paper. I do have some blank sheets that you can print out, some just lined sheets. And if you want to continue this and extend your reading profile, go for it, have at it. But I thought this was some real good basic information just to keep for fun in the front of your planner. Next, I have reading life worksheets, okay? And so the way I thought about this was using these worksheets to kind of plan for and set yourself up for your reading year, in this case in 2019. So first we start off with an assessment of 2018. So the number of books that you read in the year, the number of reading challenges you might have done, what you did not read enough of, what you read too much of, any new authors you discovered, what you want more of, subjects that you read about, and genres that you read. Okay, so that kind of gives you a snapshot of where you're at and what you might want to do differently. Okay, you take that information and come to your reading life plans for 2019. So you have your reading goals for 2019, any reading challenges you want to participate in. And if you don't know, all you have to do is Google 2019 reading challenges. And there is one site in particular that kind of houses several, if not all, of the reading challenges that are going to be out there on the internet. Whoever runs that site finds all of them and posts them alphabetically, and so you can kind of go through there and flip through and find what you might want to participate in during the year. So that's a space for that. Authors that you want to check out in the year, genres that you want to focus on this year. So if you feel like, I read a lot of such and such genre, but I would really like to explore, some other ones, this would be the space to record that. And then subjects you want to explore. So even within a genre, any subtopics or subjects that you want to learn more about or dive deeper into, that would be the space to record that. The number of books that you want to read in the year, the amount of time that you want to spend reading daily, any bookish podcasts that you want to listen to that maybe you've heard of and not listened to, or that you have maybe in your podcast library but you haven't really paid attention to. You can jot those down. Bookish apps that you want to use this year, what you are going to do more of, the 10 books that you must read in a year. So, you'll have your reading list, as we all do, but if you read nothing else, these are the 10 books you are going to read. Okay, so if you can narrow it down, those are the 10 books that you have to read before the year is out. What you want to read more of and what you want to read less of. Okay, because in the reading life, we're never going to read all the books that we want to in a lifetime. It's not possible. So it's all about balance. Okay, these next 2 pages are, I'm going to try best to explain how it works in my brain and why I included them. So as you're looking at your plans for the year, right, this is kind of what you want to get done. I like to organize what I want to read by fiction and non. And then within those 2 categories, by genre. So what I plan to do is print several copies of this list, fiction to be read, and then several copies of nonfiction to be read. And then, like, at the top, just write genre, and then, whatever genre of fiction that I want to read, like historical fiction or, whatever. And then make a list of the books that I want to read within that genre. The ones that I'm interested in reading. Same thing with nonfiction. So, for instance, genre, spiritual growth, or social science, or something like that, memoir. And then make a list of the books that I've been recommended or that are my Goodreads, to be read list, and then kind of jot those lists down, and so that when I go into making my reading list for 2019, I have something to work with. That's why I call them worksheets. So you don't have to subdivide it by genre. You can just write a list of all the fiction that you want to read, but I included these because I thought that they would be potentially useful for those of you who like to kind of get down and like categorize your lists as you're putting your reading list together. That way you don't forget about anything. Sometimes if we categorize it, it can better help us capture, what we don't want to forget. So that's in there. You can print as many as you want, and then, go from there. So that's, those are 2 worksheets that you can use. The next, I believe this is the last worksheet, is a reading challenge worksheet. So, like I said before, there are several reading challenges that are available every year for you to participate in. And oftentimes what happens for me is that I forget about them, or I forget how they work, what the rules are, how long they last, so on and so forth, all the details. So this is a great place to have an analog copy of the reading challenge and all the information related to it. So you have the name of the challenge, who is hosting, where it lives online, the duration of the challenge, a space to write the details and the rules. And then on the second page, you have a space to write any hashtags associated with it, where it might be living on social media, where you can, interact with the community for the challenge, the goals of the challenge, and then any further notes. Now, I have it printed front and back, but you can always print it so that this page is here and then the second page is here, so you have a full 2-page spread of the worksheet pages. Okay, it's going to get really loud here for a second. There's a car passing by right by my window, and somebody's running the lawnmower down the street, so it's really loud. I'm sorry. Okay, the next section that I have is my master lists. And I'm excited about these. So this would be, of course, your reading list for 2019, the title and the author. You can print as many of these as you want. Reading lists, everything about the reading life is very personal and very, subject to how you want to interact with books. So if your reading list is, just a place from which you can pick books to read, that way you're kind of staying on course, or if it's the collection of books that you really want to finish by the end of the year. It can be however you want to interpret that. So You can print as many as you want in order to accommodate your goals when it comes to your reading list. I have 3, so 1 front and back, and then 1 just the front, so that gives me 3. Then you have the wish list. So these are the books that you want to buy. These are the books that maybe you might want to receive as presents. You know, your title and your author for your wish list. And this is, I just did front and back for this. Then you have the book releases for the year. So I have only just recently been paying attention to book releases. Give me 1 second. I really need a drink of water. Okay. So book releases for the year, I've only been recently keeping up with them, and I needed a place where I could record the releases and then maybe transfer this to the calendar section of the planner so that I can just stay up to date and remember, oh yeah, such and such book is coming out. Maybe I might want to pre-order it, or even if I don't, kind of keep it in my shopping cart or look out for it if I'm out and about at a bookstore or, you know, whatever, just so you're aware that it's coming out. I have this front and back as well. And then book recommendations. Title and then who it was recommended by. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I have front and back. And then series. So recently I've been finding series that I might want to check out in the future. And you can do this a couple of different ways as well. Excuse me. I am so sorry. Throat's not wanting to cooperate. Anyway, so you can do this a couple of different ways. You could, you know, of course, tag it at the top by genre. If there are just like a lot of series within a particular genre that you're interested in. Or you could write the title of the series and then write all the book titles that are within that series. Or you could just write a general list of different series that you want to read. Okay, and there's probably 100 other ways you could do that as well. And I did that front and back. Then, some of us read seasonally. There are books that are better enjoyed in a specific season, during specific times of the year. And so I have 4 sheets to record your seasonal reads. So winter, spring, summer, and fall. And I just did these front to back with 1 per season, but you can, of course, always do as many as you want. So, one facet of the reading life is that a lot of times we come across books that we don't want to finish. It's just not for us. We don't like it. We don't agree with it. You know, whatever it is, we are not going to finish it. And life is too short to read books we don't like. Or that are not for us. So this is a place where you can keep track of the books that were not for you, why you did not finish it. Because that's also information that you might want to keep on hand as well. If somebody says, oh, hey, did you read such and such book? And be like, oh my goodness, no, I did not like it. And then, you know, you might not remember why. And so that's kind of a nice thing to have. I didn't like it because, you know, for whatever reason. And to write that down in the moment is a good thing, because sometimes it's hard to kind of pinpoint it later on. So there's a space for that. And then books that you've shelved for later. So you might not like a book. Oh man, that lawnmower, you guys, it's been going all morning. And I've been trying to just ignore it, but now he's like right by the window. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're gonna keep going. There are books that maybe you don't like right now, but you think, you know, if I just give it some time, maybe put it aside and then come back to it, you might like it. So these are books that you are shelving for later, the title, the date you started it, and then the date you shelved it. And then you can come back to this periodically and say, oh yeah, I remember reading that book, and let me try picking it back up again. Maybe it's the right time. Okay, I had to pause and wait for him to kind of be further down because it was just way too loud. The next section that I have is books that are gifted to you. So you have the title and then who it is from. And then we have books that are loaned to you. So you have the title, the author, who it was from, the date, and then any notes related to that loan, and then books that you might lend out. Title, author, to whom you lent it out. Is that grammatically correct? Who you lent it to. The date, and then any notes related to that That lend. That lend. Okay. The lending of the book. Related to the lending of the book. All right, the next few pages are as follows. I have a list for books that you completed in the year, so the title and then the date started and finished. That's a front and backer that I did. Favorite books of the year, title and author. And oh, that was it, just those last 2 pages. So just a really quick explanation. Your first set of pages is going to be your Reading Life worksheets. Hold on. Okay, so you have your Reading Life worksheets, and then your title pages and all that. That's all one file. The master lists, that is all one file. Sorry, I should have kind of done this at the beginning. So master lists is all one file. You can print them however you want. You might get to a point where you're printing like page 3 on one side and page 7 on another side. I did that on purpose because I didn't organize them in a specific way because I wanted you to be able to organize it the way you wanted to. So it's slightly more cumbersome because you are customizing it yourself, but I wanted you to have as much freedom as possible with all of the pages. So worksheets, master lists, and now we're going to get into calendars. Now your calendar is going to include a title page, a this month spread, and then a month on 2 pages, okay? And you're going to have that for January through December. So title page, which is this, a this month spread, which I'm about to show you, and then a month on 2 pages. And that's all one file. That's all calendars. Okay, so here's your title page. Each one will have a little quote. And then you have a this month spread. So at the beginning of each month, you can kind of take stock of what your reading goals, to-dos, plans, whatever, however you want to call that, for the month. So the books you want to read, the books you want to buy, any book recommendations that you want, that you either gather through the month or that you've received previously and you want to tackle during the month. I don't know, however you want to interpret that. Reading challenges that month that you might be participating in, or aspects of a reading challenge that's going on throughout the year that you might want to jot down in there. Books to add to your TBR, and then notes. Okay, so you have one of these per month. And when you print your calendars, you can print them as is. Okay, so if you have an automatic duplex printer, you just hit print and it'll do front and back. If you have a manual, a printer that does not print automatically both sides, you can print, your evens and then your odds, or it might be odds and then evens, I'm not sure. It depends on how many pages are in here and I forgot. So you print one side, flip it, and then print the other side. So the calendars can be printed as is, okay? And then you have your month on 2 pages. Like I said before, it is dated, okay? And this you can use for all kinds of things. You can write how much you're reading in a day. So each day, write down, I read 30 minutes, or I read 25 minutes, or I read so many chapters, or I started such and such book, or I finished such and such book, or this is the event or challenge or thing that's going on in the book club or in the reading challenge that I'm involved in. Any meetups, any social media memes, lists, whatever you want. This is a place so you can look at the whole month at a glance and see, whatever you're tracking, you can see it all in one space. Okay? So the next set of pages are in a file called Reader's Choice. So basically, all of these pages you can put anywhere in your planner, or you can pick and choose what you want to put anywhere in your planner. The way I thought about it was that you can pick and choose what you want to put within the month. So after you have your this month spread and your month on 2 pages, these are the pages that you can choose from to build the rest of your month and, keep track of your reading life. So you have a week on a page to write down any notes, okay? You have a daily reading log, so you have a space to write the date and then you can make any notes that you want. It is a square grid, as you can see. It's a square grid. You can use a whole page in a day. You can just jot down a couple notes and get a few days out of it the way I have it set up, however you want to use it. The way I printed it was that I have, let's help him center here, I have my weekly notes, and then on the back I printed a daily reading log, and then I did another front and back of the daily reading log. Okay, that's how I did it, but you can, however you want to do it, is just fine. And then I have a couple weeks like that. I think I only put 3 in here. There should be 4, obviously, but I think I only did 3. So you can do a week and just use weeks. You can just use days. You can skip the month on 2 pages and just use weeks and days, or whichever of the two, however you want to do it. Those are your, what would be called your weekly, monthly, weekly, and dailies. That's what I'm calling that. Or that's how I'm using kind of that format. Next, you have book review pages. So on the first, there's 2 pages. On the first page is all the basic information about the book. So what it was, fiction, nonfiction, when you started and finished, the type of book it was, the format, so hardcover, paperback, audio, or ebook, the title, author, publisher, genre, number of pages or hours. If it was an audiobook, then you can write down the narrator's name, the title of the series that it might belong to, and the number what number it is in the series, how you discovered the book, where you got the book, where you read the book, if you're reading it for a book club or challenge or any events, any other books by this author that you would like to read, and then some rating, would that be called metrics? I don't know, some rating categories, and then an overall grade that you can put at the bottom. And then on the back side, you have any notes, thoughts, and quotes related to that book. Now, I printed back and front, but you can, of course, let's see, you can, of course, punch it and print and punch it so that it's a 2-page spread. Okay? I just decided to do it back and front. Okay. So you have those are your book review pages. Now you can have a section that's just for book reviews, like all your book reviews go in that one section of your planner. I have it set up so that I have 5 book reviews in the month. So all the books that I read in the month will go in the book review pages that I have put in that month. And so however many books that you think you're going to read, or you can just add them as you go, however you want to configure that. It's up to your interpretation. Okay, now let's say that you want to keep track of what you're reading, but you don't want to go through all of this. You don't want to write all that information down. That's a bit intense. Or maybe you don't want to, maybe you didn't like the book, but you'd like to record that you read it. But because you didn't like the book, you don't want to go through all of this. You just want a simple place to log what has been read and save this for the books that you actually liked. I have a page that's called Book Log, and it just has your very, very basic information. Title, author, date, dates read, and then notes. Okay? And there's space for 3 books on that page. And I just have a front and backer for that. Next is a space to keep track of your library loans. So you go to the library, you get those books, you come home, and you jot down what you got, what you borrowed, and then the due date. For some of us who've been library patrons for years, you could probably pay off some serious debt with all the fines you might have paid over the years. So it's kind of nice to have an analog space to kind of keep you on track for when those books are due back. And then I have a front and backer for that. And then I just have a page called Bookish Notes, and that can be up to your interpretation. Favorite quotes. And then I have a page with just a title line there ready for you to fill it in, and you can use it for whatever you want. I believe I also added a page, I haven't printed it out, but I've added a page that doesn't have the title line because that might be a bit cumbersome for you, because these don't have title lines. So if you want to write the title of whatever you're using the page for, but that line's in your way, I believe I have a blank space or a blank page for that. So it just has these lines, but not this one. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Now, those are your reader's choice pages. The next page is from the file, the journaling pages. And how that is set up is you can print as is, double-sided, or even single-sided. If you print it double-sided, you should have 12 pages each with 2 different prompts on either side. If you print it single-sided, then you'll have 24 pages each with 1 journaling prompt. And how you can take all of the journaling pages and put them in a section for journaling pages, or what I've done is I've taken one of those double-sided sheets with 2 prompts and put 1 for each month. So because there's 24 prompts and it can be printed back to back, you should have 12, 1 for each month. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to explain this in the simplest way possible without being all convoluted. So I have journaling prompts at the end of the month, and then you can fill them out whenever you want to in that month. And that is how I've constructed the month. And then all of those pages, the journaling and then the reader's choice, can be organized within your month however you want to. The rest of these pages are just the rest of the months, February through December. And so I have this month spread, month on 2 pages, and then journaling prompts. I didn't print all the rest because I'm still kind of deciding how I really want to use it. This was just an example of how my brain is thinking of it now. Okay, and then into March, so on and so forth. Okay, and all the journaling prompts are different, so you have something new to write about. And then if we fast forward, jump forward, because this isn't very fast. If we jump forward to the very end, we have one more reading life assessment page. And so this will be used at the end of the year to look at your reading life for 2019. So just like you did for 2018, so that you could look forward and plan for 2019, I have one to look back at 2019 to prepare you for 2020. All right, and it's the exact same, it's just for the end of the year. And that is it, you guys. There are 115 pages to choose from in this planner, and I don't think that shouldn't include, I'm pretty sure that does not include like the cover pages, so like the calendar page and the master lists page. That's not included in the count, but everything else is. That's 115 pages to choose from in this planner. You can build it and organize it however you want, because I want this to be a resource for you. Reading is very much a personal thing. It's a very, it can be a solo thing, as well as something that we engage in community, but the way we go about it is very personal and individual. And so I wanted this to be a resource, a tool that you can customize and use however you want it. Okay? If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, you know where to leave them. You can leave them below in the comments. This video is also going to be on my blog, so you can comment there as well. You can acquire this planner, this printable, on my blog. The link is in the description as well as in the comments for you to check out. If you end up getting this and setting it up for yourself, please let me know. You can tag me at Elyssa Nalani on Twitter or Instagram. You can also, on Facebook too, because we can tag there. You can also use the hashtag #TheReadingLifePlanner anywhere on social media that you are sharing your setup. I will be doing a setup video later in the next few weeks to show you how I have obviously set up the pages, but how I might have done, how I'll be doing like dividers and like the fun stuff that I'll be adding as well, because this is also, I made it very simple. I forgot to mention that. I made this very simple and black and white so that if you are a minimal, you prefer like a minimal look, that it's like that for you. But if you like to decorate, there's not a bunch of stuff going on that will hinder you from personalizing it so that it looks the way you want it to. So I will be doing a setup video in the future to show you how I'm going to go about that, and I'll probably do a a month to month the way I do a regular planner setup to show you how I'm using it every month for 2019. So if you're interested, definitely stay tuned. And definitely check it out on my blog and let me know how you're using it and how you're setting it up and how it's working for you. Like I said, any questions, let me know. And until next time, you guys have a great day. Happy reading, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.